Hi class, welcome to your Psych 108 course. I'm your instructor, Jen. I figured I'd do just a cute little video here, just introduce myself and tell you a little bit about the course, some expectations, and then a little bit about your first week here. In addition, I'm planning on doing about 5 to 7 minute videos, usually at the beginning of each week, probably about posted by Monday or Tuesday, just to give you a little bit of an overview of what's expected of you for that particular week. So you can see that within the learning module. Just go in there and click at the bottom of the page there. They'll be put right there. So let's see here. You've got some expectations really on the course as far as your assignments, the discussion board, and your different chapter activities. In addition, some of the assignments include the milestone activities. So you've got, I think, 4 milestones, and then you've got the final project. So they all accumulate right into that final project. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you do those milestones account for a lot of your grade as well. And then the discussion board. Each week you will be doing an initial posting for that will be due on Thursday. And then you have your responses that are to all your peers and responses to from yourself to your peers, back, etc. Creating really good dialogue that'll be due on Sunday of each week. And then you have your chapter activities, which are in each of your learning modules, has the textbook for each chapter. Just go along with that, do the chapter activities. Those are crucial to part of your grade as well. I've definitely seen students who have faltered in that area, and unfortunately that really does hurt them over time because you have a lot of chapter activities and they do accumulate to form a good portion of your grade as well. So definitely make sure you take your time and do all of the activities. You can miss one here and there. It's not going to do you, it's not going to hurt you too much, but you do want to make sure that you do the majority of all the activities. In addition to that, all of the papers that you're going to be submitting for your milestone activities, and then in addition to that, your discussion board activities. I want you to make sure that you proofread those, edit them closely, use appropriate grammar. This is a college level course. In addition, you're going to be using references for all of your papers, all of your assignments, and that's even in the discussion board. Try even referencing just your textbook. That they have great theories in there, and that's certainly appropriate to reference your textbook. You're going to be learning about APA formatting and referencing here within, I think, a couple weeks. So you're going to be taking that information and directly applying it to all of the work that you do in the course. So this week, you are really kind of doing an overview of what psychology is and kind of where it started and the overall emphasis of the field itself and how diverse it is too. Psychology has so many different subfactors and subfields that, you really can't do anything in life without being touched by some psychological aspect related to it because we're people, and that's what psychology studies, is people, behaviors, actions, thoughts, etc., and how it all intertwines into life. So you're going to be looking at kind of the history of psychology. You're looking at psychology as a science, how it developed from being more of a philosophical approach to now it actually has some scientific basis, and just the challenges it had. It definitely had its child days, teenage days, young adolescent days. It has grown and matured into a nice, healthy science nowadays, but it wasn't always like that. So keep that in mind as you review some of the chapter as well. And then you see why psychology stays a science nowadays. It is the different research elements, aspects of psychology, and why it's so important to have good, solid, empirically based research that's peer-reviewed, that's studied and replicated, etc. This is essential. So this is one of the main elements that you focus on as a psychologist is the research of aspects. And almost every area, subfield of psychology has a research component to it. Even a lot of clinical counseling psychologists will be doing some sort of research on the side just to understand which therapy works better for some people. That's all little tests and tricks and modifications of things to see what helps or what works. And then obviously research is done in a very big scope as well in laboratories to see if new neurocognitive aspects are happening with people, and can we figure out something based on new technology that occurs. So there are some brilliant things that are happening within the field of psychology, and it's hard to get bored. So one of the main elements of psychology that's in your textbook that I really want to focus on because I think it's very important because you're going to be taking it with you throughout the rest of the term in the course is critical thinking and the scientific method. So critical thinking in psychology, it means that you're kind of a detective. You want to understand why this is happening. And it's not just, oh, I don't know, a simple question. It's more, think about all of the elements that could have gone into it. You know, oh, that man threw a fit because his paycheck was late or something like that. Well, you don't know all the reasons for why that happened, and you don't know that the company was actually the one that delayed his check 3 times prior to that, and he wasn't really just a crazy, jerk. He just had an absolute reason to lose his temper. So it's explanations for things, it's reasons, it's critically evaluating and critically thinking of the multifaceted aspects that go into people's behaviors and their thoughts. So really, I want you to be kind of like psychological detectives throughout this course. When you do your discussion board activities, you're going to be talking about nature and nurture. I want you to consider, why do you think nature plays more of a role or nurture plays more of a role in the development of people? Consider all the different areas. And then I want you to use theory, because that's also a very important aspect of being the scientific method is using empirically based. And empirically based means that you've actually done it with research, you're statistically sound, it's valid, it's reliably done, it's good methodology within the testing of it, and you've had people that have replicated it as well. And then it's peer reviewed. So of your peers, so other doctors, other researchers have also reviewed this and they think that your theories are sound, your hypotheses are sound, etc. So that's another aspect too that's going to be going into a lot of your thinking about this is looking at the theories, what do they say, and then use a reference to back up that theory. So you have hypotheses that lead to research, testing, observations that lead to different theories, and that's a nice little cycle that you've got, and it can start anywhere. So just keep that in mind as well. This is, like I said, this is essential to validating psychology as a science. That's really what it's all about, is doing this really good, sound, methodologically valid research and coming up with good results that help humanity. That's a big aspect of psychology. This specifically applies to you, so I want you to open your ears here, really listen. This applies to you in your particular papers. So critically evaluate. Sure, this is a skill that it's acquired. It takes time to really think about it, and you're going to get feedback on it, and so it's not going to be graded that harshly, but I just want you to try. And then in addition to that, I do want a lot of good references and a lot of good discussions about the theories you read in your textbook, and then use different references from, let's see, like your SNHU library has wonderful articles in there. Go find a neat article that talks about your points and use that as it's backing up your claim, essentially. So you're going to be needing to use references in your discussion board, and then for certain in your milestone activities. Absolutely. And you're going to see that again in week 2. I think you learn more about the APA and the references and what's expected of you to make it really sound paper, because you need to have something backing up all of your claims. So that kind of concludes what I think are some of the really important areas in chapter 1. And so I'm going to kind of wrap up this video. I don't want it to go too terribly long here. So this week, your tasks are to read chapter 1, and then you've got some chapter activities to do. Again, go through those very slowly. They are kind of meticulous, and there's a lot of little reading to do, but try to just do it as thoroughly as you can, because there are lots of things in there that you have to do as little activities, and you want to make sure that you know how to do them and you do them all correctly. In addition, all of these things in the chapters, they build upon each other. So chapter 2 will build upon chapter 1, etc. In addition to that, you have a couple of discussion boards. You have an introduction, and then you have a discussion. So make sure you do those as well. Try to get those done. Again, your initial one should be Thursday, and then your responses to peers by Sunday. And lastly, you have milestone 1 this week. So probably try to use use your time wisely and think about how to do all these different assignments. And in addition, just something about me as far as your expectation for grading in the course and for timelines, etc. I definitely know that you all are mature. Some of you are working adults, working individuals. You've got a life, you've got a family. I am not here to punish you if for some reason you are late on something. I just want you to take accountability for all the work that you have, and honestly, just be in contact with me. Send me an email, let me know, hey, I had a huge, long week at work. I'm going to be a day late. Sorry. Not a big deal. Honestly, it's not a big deal. I just want you to try to take some good information away from this course and appreciate it for all that you can. So with that in mind, please shoot me an email if you have any questions or concerns about the course, and I'm happy to answer pretty quickly most of the time. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you all next week. Bye.